Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Erika joining us. Hi, Erika.
Hi, Amanda.
So this is so exciting. Erika has a success story from one of her clients, and it's a really good story because it demonstrates a lot. It also brings one key point that we are going to mention, and that's about, basically creating and talking about what's a success and failure. So just to give a little bit of, context to this is she didn't manifest her specific person, not because she couldn't, but because she actually manifested something better. So it wasn't a failure, it was a major success because she could have had her specific person, but she decided and found something even better and was happy with that. So what it really illustrates is that, nothing's a failure if you're God of your reality. Everything is your creation. So yeah, we'll get more into that after Erika reads the story.
Awesome. Okay, so she starts. Hi, Erika. I wanted to share my success story of sorts. As you know, I was manifesting my ex-boyfriend, Jerry. I was using intentions and visualizations, but I felt like I was lying to myself. The visualizations will bring me to tears, which I tried so hard to write off as tears of joy, but I was clearly hurting. I was drowning in lack. And I think that's important, right? When you feel like, oh, there's a lack of meaning, he's not here, you keep manifesting that separation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think also it's important to say, a lot of people say, well, I feel like I'm lying to myself. Well, if lying to myself is going to bring you that person back, right? Keep lying to yourself just by knowing that your affirmations are powerful, right? And then maybe it feels like you're lying to yourself because it's a really new idea, a new way of thinking that feels foreign to you, right? That
Right.
just means like, I have to stick to this new story, right? Stick to this, and I will create this that I've been wanting that I don't have in my life right now. So if it feels like you're lying to yourself, we'll keep going. And then you're not going to feel like you're lying to yourself anymore.
Exactly. You know what the funniest thing is, it's funny you say that. There's so many times that I've said to somebody like, oh my goodness, this is happening, right? And I've just said it because I felt like it's going to happen. And then all of a sudden it actually happens. And then I say to the same person, oh, you're not going to believe what happened. And I tell them, and they're like, you already said that. And I'm like, did I? Okay, the first time I was lying. I'm like, this time it really happens. And I always have done that naturally in my life, so, but knowing that your thoughts create, it's no longer a lie. But the other trick I use to avoid feeling like I'm lying is I use the word I intend, because I intend, if you look it up, no, it's not future tense, it's present tense. Intending is future tense. Right. Present tense is intend, and then intend is actually, the definition is plan, aim, goal. So I intend, so I plan, aim, goal to blah, 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 blah. So when I say I intend, I don't feel that little voice, you're lying, as if I say I am, which is more powerful than I am. I feel like, wait a minute, no, I'm not Superman, but I intend to be Superman. It feels a lot better. So sometimes changing our wording can help around that, but you're totally right. You know what? Just keep doing it, because even if you feel like you're lying to yourself, you're still going to create that, right?
Right. But also, like, it's your reality, right? So if saying, well, I intend feels like a lie, then change it to whatever it feels more powerful to you, right?
Exactly, because things will still start showing up, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So let's continue.
Yes.
Because of this, I decided to remove Jerry from the equation and just focus on how I wanted to feel. If the thought of Jerry made me think about how he's not here, he will continue to not be here. Important, right? Mm-hmm. If I focus on love, love will appear in my reality. So I started declaring things like, I am loved and cared for. I am desired. I feel safe in my relationship. I am pursued and wanted, without bringing Jerry into the picture. And I really think, Amanda, that, those two words are so important. What you say you are, you become, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
You're saying, I am loved, I am wanted, I am desired, I am respected. You're becoming that person, right? And people in your reality will start treating you that way, right? Including that specific person.
Exactly. And one thing I wanted to put in there is, self-love alone doesn't do it. It's a combination of self-love, having a good opinion about the other person, and then having a good opinion about relationships in general. So saying, look at, people want relationships, guys want to be with me, my relationships always work out for me. people love me, I'm desired, I'm wanted, plus Jerry wants to be with me, Jerry loves me. It's not just one of, it's all three of them have to be there. So does self-love work? Not on its own, but does self-love work in a combination with the other two parts? Absolutely. Big
Exactly.
distinction there. Yeah.
And I also like to bring up the fact that affirm who you are as a creator of your reality. I start with that. I am the creator of my reality. I am the operant power. I have superpowers of manifesting, right? That really reinforces me who I am as a creator. And then who am I as Erika? I am loved, I am wanted, I am respected, etc. Also, what do I think about my person, right?
Right.
And what do I think he's thinking about me? What do I think he's feeling about me? I'm the one who's dictating how he shows up in my reality. Oh yeah, he loves me so much. He's always thinking about me. And then he start like, oh, he thinks about me all the time, right? Because I'm the one who's saying that's how he's thinking, that's how he's feeling about me, and that's what I get reflected back, right?
Exactly. So if you come to us with a story that you're insecure, you're not good enough, that you don't look good enough, we're going to give you self-love. I am good enough. I do look good enough. People love me. That's what we're going to prescribe. If you come to us with a story about the other person doesn't like you, we're going to give you affirmations about how much they like you, and that's just what it comes down to, right? So yeah, self-love is very good for affirmations. And you're right. If you got a bad story about the other person, it needs to change.
Exactly. And the moment you change that story, they will start changing, right?
Exactly, because everyone's you pushed out.
Exactly.
In fact, you know what? I know you're going to finish with the story, but when we were actually setting up this call, we were both Skyping each other the same message at the same time.
Right.
That's everyone is you pushed out, right? Like it's there. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole world literally is a reflection of your assumptions about people, situations, right?
Yeah. That's so true.
It's so easy. It's really easy. But people think it has to be more difficult. Like, what else do I have to do? No, it's really that easy. Just change your assumptions about, people and situations in general, right? Because you really are in control of everything in your reality, everything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Randomly, one night, I got a message from a friend of mine who I've always had a will they one day kind of relationship with. We exchanged a few messages and then decided to talk on the phone instead. We stayed up until 4 a.m. talking. The next morning, I woke up and laughed off the night before and carried about my day. The next day, however, I found myself smiling every time he messaged me. I felt full of light and joy. I even thought, well, this is how I wanted to feel with Jerry. And then it clicked. I manifested the relationship I wanted. It was strange because just a few months earlier we talked and I thought, should I pursue this? And I assured myself I wanted Jerry, my original SB. But do you see how she said, this is how I want to feel? And then all of a sudden there's this person that is treating her that way.
Everyone's you pushed out. But notice how Jerry didn't do it, because she had a complete separate story about Jerry that was blocking it, because it's very specific. I cannot stress this enough. You can create that everybody loves me, but then still create that Jerry doesn't want to be with you. And guess what? Everyone will love you, but Jerry, okay? Because that's how it works. Thoughts are things, thoughts create. Thoughts and intentions will stick to people like Post-it notes until you write them, right?
I love that. I need to copy that one.
Please do, everybody. I did a video on it, and I think I even stuck Post-it notes to Jerry.
I love it.
Poor little guy. I didn't ruin any of his fur, by the way. No Jerrys were hurt in the making of that video.
I love it. Okay. So as I sat with this thought, I dug deep and realized I never wanted to be with Jerry. I wanted to save him because I feel like he saved me in so many ways. So while I will intend things like I intend for Jerry to be more responsible with his money, and I intend for Jerry to be over his baggage, I really wanted to do those things for him. I didn't care if he was over his ex. I wanted to be the reason he got over his ex. I wanted to be good enough to heal him. I wanted to be the reason he chose to heal. And that's all really misguided and conflicts with everything I was intending. So if you're assuming that the person needs to be saved or need to be healed, you're assuming that that person has issues, right? So you have to change your assumptions about that person.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
So I realized from here, I could either start from a new spot and continue to create the relationship I wanted with Jerry because I am God of my reality and I can do whatever I want, or I could dive into the already wonderful relationship I created with this other guy. The work to get through my limiting beliefs and undoing some of my assumptions about Jerry will be daunting, but I know I could do it if I wanted to, but I don't. I choose to move forward with the other guy, and I feel exactly how I was intending to feel with Jerry. There's no worrying about the past or if I'm doing it right or what about X, Y, Z. I wake up every day knowing this other man really cares for me, and it's so simple to continue to create that. Ironically, in our last email exchange, you told me to start manifesting immediate things by adding now at the end. And I did create loving a relationship now. That I think is super important to say everything, you know, I'm manifesting perfectly right now. I see, you know, clear evidence of my intentions and my affirmations happening right now, right?
Yeah. I know, that's absolutely amazing. I love that. Yeah.
Okay. I never really bought into the whole I am manifesting this or something better concept because I truly believe you can have exactly what you want. Would I have this feeling in a relationship with Jerry? Yes, absolutely. But right now, as I intended, I already have the feeling and it feels so much better than I ever could have imagined because it truly feels easy and simple. While I didn't get my SP, even though I still could if I wanted to, I did create the exact relationship and feeling I wanted. It was very easy for me to change gears once I realized what I truly wanted. The feeling of being loved, desired, and pursued. Thank you so much for all your help and guidance along the way. Truly, we are so lucky to have such kind, compassionate coaches at Create Your Future.
Aw, thank you.
Sweet.
They're all handpicked and intended and created by me. Every last one of them. It's stamped all of them. That is so amazing. I mean, again, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, and I think I want to mention it again. You know, it's like, you know, it's about there's no right or wrong, good or bad. And all too often, you know, this is my little personal rant that I'm going to go on here, is that, you know, there's always too often, you know, people say, well, you know what, if we don't get our specific person, it's a failure. But the thing is failure is a story. Failure is made up by you. There's no such thing as success or failure. There's no such thing as good or bad, right or wrong. It's all made up by you. Okay. So some people say, oh, a little white lie to save someone's feeling is okay. Some people say it's wrong. Again, it's all a matter of personal perception. So, you know, I know in my experience, you know, I used to have, you know, somebody that I was with for many years, and it was a complete train wreck of a relationship. And I knew how to recreate him. I knew how to manifest, but I didn't. I decided to walk away from it and create something new and to be happy now, because you know what, the thing is I had a choice. I could recreate him and spend that time doing that, or I could go create the relationship that I wanted right now, because I'm God of my reality and I can have whatever I want. So never think that changing your trajectory or deciding, you know, what you want is right or wrong or a failure or a success, and just going by yourself, like going by and choosing what you actually want. You know, somebody says, oh, well, you know what, this success story, she didn't get her Jerry back, so it's a failure. No, that's not true. She got what she wanted, a loving, happy relationship. Could she have had it with Jerry? Absolutely. Did she decide she wanted it with someone new? Yes, she wanted it with someone new. Now, one other thing I'm going to mention, because this is the internet. There are things, okay, when I say there's no such thing as right or wrong, there are things that we've agreed collectively as a society that are wrong, and that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, you know, is it wrong to, you know, go out back out with an ex, or to, you know, I'm talking in terms of relationships, not in terms of law and things that are illegal and not illegal. Let me just throw that out there, right? So, you know, but basically what I'm saying is there's no such thing as success or failure, meaning okay, well, you know, I decided not to go and, you know, manifest Jerry. I decided to do it with someone else. Are you a failure? No, you
No.
still got what you wanted in the end, you know, and you're the only one that can deem it as a success or a failure. Like, I'll tell you guys, like, honestly, Create Your Future was much different as a vision that I had 5 years ago than what it turned out to be. Now, I was so attached to the way I wanted it, and when I released that attachment and just got committed on what my goal was, it turned into a completely different company, but it's way more successful than I could have deemed it to be before. Okay,
Right.
so was I a failure that it didn't turn out exactly the way that I wanted it to 5 years ago? No, actually, I'm a way bigger success, letting it shape itself and going with the path of least resistance. And you know what? It was a lot less work on my part. So, you know, trust, you know, sometimes what you're creating, you know, and sure, could you get Jerry and focus on that and do it? Absolutely. But if
Right.
you decide to give in to the path of least resistance, don't look at that as a failure. It's still a success. You got what you wanted. You see what I'm saying, right?
And like she said, I could have wanted, you know, if I want the, you know,
Yeah.
Jerry, I could have gotten him, but I don't want him, right? You can change your mind and say, no, actually, I don't want that anymore, but I want this. But really believe that what you want is yours. The moment that you want something, that's yours, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have that desire.
Well, exactly. You know, and that's just it, right? You know, there's no right or wrong here. There isn't. It's you're the god of your reality. You choose, you create what you want. So, yeah,
So,
very much so. So we've basically put everything into the video.
right.
So let's recap some of our points is, you know, is you've got to recreate the person. Don't assume that they have problems, issues, and that you're fixing them. You've got to change your story about them. Then you also got to look at, you know, self-love alone isn't going to change it, but self-love is going to be a big part of it if you have insecurities, because you got to work on the story about you, the other person, and about relationships, right? As well as you've got to stay on your mental diet. Yeah.
Super
Anything I've
important.
missed?
No, I think you got it all, right? Your thoughts create, your thoughts are affirmations, and your affirmations create. It's that simple. And your assumptions about people, make sure that you always assume the best of every person in your reality, right?
Right. And yes, if you feel like you're lying to yourself, use words like I intend, or you know what, change it just a little bit so it doesn't feel like you're lying to yourself. And if you do say to yourself, I'm lying, say, no, my thoughts create, I know it's true.
Right. Exactly.
So amazing. So guys, Erika gets probably by far the most success stories here and the most amazing surveys. So definitely check out the link in the description below, because we are still having a sale for the month of August and she is available for coaching. And guys, thank you, Erika, for being here.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. And thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.